Hello, hello, hello. We're back with a different game. Ooh, funky. I just didn't want to play Minecraft again for a stream, so I figured I'd figure out which of the other games I own I would class as chill. And this game's pretty much chill as they come. So I would call this game pretty chill, at least, because there's no panic to it. There's no anxiety. You just sort of play it. As you can see, I have been playing this game for a time. This is I would say I've got quite far, honestly. My quests were screaming at me. So I'm just gonna keep playing this game, I guess. See how far we go today in the time we're here. 14. It's a respectable amount of upgrades. Aha! More quests. You know what? In terms of daily quests, I don't want to craft temporary items. The only temporary items I craft are the ones that require dragon eggs. They're the only ones I actually do. Witch Hunter's gun. Ooh, more characters. I care not for more characters all that much. As you see, I'm on these two. I am maxed out in how much I've got. The other ones, not so much. Right, there's no bow. I need to unlock it again. It was very nice when I had the bow upgrade that went, hi, I have the words are not working today. When you have the bow upgrade, you can get another upgrade that keeps your bow upgraded across your ascensions. But you reset even more thoroughly when you ultra ascend, because when you ultra ascend, even this one goes blank. That's 12, that's 10, 5, 5, 8. We'll upgrade that one. Upgrade that one. That one. Upgrade that one. Ba-ba-da-ba-da. Now we've got to figure out which one. Ooh, ooh. It's an idle game, so we'll upgrade the idle one. There we go. That should make things run just a little bit quicker. We will, in fact, ascend though, because I need to spend those points on the table. You know what I've realised we could do next time it's Friday Chill, for all the game might not seem very chill, is we could do Plague Inc, because once again, it's not a particularly anxiety-inducing game in any way. Pick that one. Have I really never unlocked that? Because it doesn't seem like it. Sure. We'll upgrade those. Right. Time to start the process all over again. Though not as all over again as it is when you ultra ascend. It's painful going back to this when you've been able to do things really fast before. It takes so long. I just realised today I've got to sort of... This isn't a game you can really talk about what you're doing all that much, so I figured I've got to figure out something to talk about. Then I realised I've been spending the last however many hours utterly re-obsessed with How to Train Your Dragon. It's the movie and cartoon series is. I haven't read the books. I know they are very different in many places. I know that Toothless in the books is a wildly different dragon, that if any of the art I've seen based off the descriptions in the books exists, then it's more like a terrible terror than a Night Fury. But you know what? That's okay. Different stories, which is bringing me on the point of the films only ever claimed to be based upon the books. They never claimed to be an adaptation of, which I personally feel is a very important distinction, because it's not the same thing, and they don't, you know, I imagine some people when they saw the, you know, what it was and the fact that it's based on the book series, probably rather disappointed that it went in a wildly different direction. But also, I personally think the first How to Train Your Dragon movie is a masterpiece, and I will not be hearing otherwise. It was, in fact, it's such a well-written film. If I had any criticism in regards to the story, it would be that sort of, I guess it seems a bit like everyone changes their mind a little bit too quickly around dragons. I'm thinking more the teenagers rather than the epilogue bit at the end of the movie, because you can only sort of, you know, when you get to that section, you can only sort of show so much anyway. I said, yes, you can only sort of show so much anyway, which is where watching the TV series is quite nice. Because the TV series I'm thinking more Dragons, Riders of Berk and Defenders of Berk, really allow you to actually sort of see the teething problems that came with when dragons became part of Berk. Because there's no way it all just like happened nicely, and the TV series are nice because they get to show you that, yeah, there were some problems. Mildew's one of them. He's annoying as, please stop complaining, you old crotchety man. Gothy's not complaining, you're just, you know, being awkward. Then old people can be like that. Sometimes it's ignorance, sometimes it's deliberate ignorance, but people can be stubborn and people don't like change, so it's not, it makes sense. But that's the nice thing about the series, it shows everyone else kind of being a bit more like, yeah, well, yeah, about the dragons, rather than immediately accepting them off the bat, a bit like the film sort of shows you at the end. As I said, it's nice to see the sort of somewhat realism that comes from it, I suppose. I'm slightly concentrating on what I'm doing. But yes, so it's kind of nice to see the realism that comes from the TV series. Also, just Race to the Edge is fun. Race to the Edge, which is the Netflix series. It is the Netflix series. I think it was actually produced for Netflix, even if it does exist elsewhere. So it's one of those. So at least you can always find that on Netflix, even if the movies aren't always there. I've just realised I cover up quite a lot of the. Ooh. I cover up my button. You can't see the prices. Oh. See if I can move around a moment. Oh. No. I don't think we're doing it. We'll just have to be in an awkward position. Oh well. Oh well. Awkward position. Haha, we've got to roughly where we were at the start. I actually think we're further. I think I bought more stuff. Right. Let's unlock those. We'll keep going because we need Slayer points now. 3 ain't gonna cut it. Oh, I missed the box. Oops. I haven't done it already, I will say this out. Tuesday because I'm going to be free on Tuesday. I don't think there's a day I can't do next week, so you'll actually get 3 streams next week. Woohoo! But if I haven't done it already, which I likely won't, Tuesday will be the 2.2 Honkai Star Rail quest. Because 2.1 broke me. I may have seen a spoiler for 2.2, and if that is in fact accurate, I am going to cry. Potentially actually cry? Well, we will see. We shall see. Because 2.1 made me fall in love with Aventurine so badly. I fall in love with Aventurine in the, I think this character's really interesting, and I simultaneously want to tear him apart to see how he works, but also he deserves good things. I'm sure there are some people out there who understand what I mean. When I say I'm in love with a fictional character, it just means I'm really, really interested in them. Not the way other people fall in love with fictional characters. If you understand what I'm on about. We're not going to take that further. But I turn them in my mind like a rotisserie chicken. Trying to look at all of them and go, how does your mind work? What would happen if I did these really, really horrible things happened to you? But at the same time, part of the reason you're so interesting is you've had such an interesting life. And that generally doesn't mean good things. It's like the saying, which I believe, at least I read somewhere that was Greek, or based off of a Greek saying. Don't know how much I'm going to trust that though. That may you live in interesting times was used as an insult. And if the last few years have taught us anything, is that living in interesting times is generally not what you want. Because just because it's interesting does not mean it's good. But yeah, my favourite characters are those with interesting stories. Which Aventurine is certainly one of them. As I said, simultaneously, I want to put him in some real bad situations just to kind of figure out what would he do. And things, but also at the same time, he totally deserves hugs and love and someone to actually care about him and for the chance to process his trauma, because he probably hasn't had that yet. He deserves to be on the Astral Express. He deserves to become another passenger of the Astral Express, and I highly, highly doubt it's going to happen. But at the same time, we've seen and understand more about his backstory through main story quests than literally anyone else. The only person, I guess, who might get close with a true understanding of their backstory is like Welt, but that's in an entirely separate game. I will say is I nearly contemplated tonight playing Ace Attorney instead. But given for all it's a lawyer game, it also involves murders, so I wasn't necessarily sure that would quite be classed as chill. But then again, it's not particularly I wouldn't consider it particularly anxiety-inducing. This is Friday just supposed to be relaxing games, and I suppose relaxing is subjective. So we will figure it out. I will, at some point, eventually, probably in far too long amount of time, make a list of all the games I own I would consider chill. Trying to think about games I could do on Friday made me realise I don't have a lot of chill games, but also that I generally play about the same 2 games 3, I guess, in rotation. There's... Well, there's... I suppose there is this now. But in terms of games I play for more than about 10 minutes a day, there's only about 2 games I really do that with. And that's Minecraft and The Sims 4. Everything else, except for every so often, tends to get left to the side, however unintentionally. I might, one of these days, do a Warframe stream. Warframe is in fact an 18+ game, so it will be age restricted. I will put on a warning, because, you know, it's, despite, admittedly, no, I won't say that. I've been playing the game for a while, and I totally understand why it's an 18+. Mostly. Certainly not a game I would put on a Friday chill. But if you fancy that for a Tuesday chill, or maybe an extra special late night for the UK stream sometime as an extra stream during the week. Surprise! Warframe! What other games do I own? I suppose I have 2 Point Hospital, but that can be kind of stressful because you're trying to manage things. There's City Skylines and Planet Coaster, which is stressful for the same reason as 2 Point Hospital, because you've got to manage things and you can't just sort of not pay attention to the game. This game you can very not pay attention to unless you're doing the bonus levels. There's Honkai Star Rail, I have that, if it wasn't already obvious. I do in fact have Genshin downloaded. I haven't played it in like 3 months. It just does not appeal to me in the same way Honkai Star Rail does. Don't know why, just doesn't. Thinking it through, I tend to think of it as sort of a, I don't like switching between characters. It feels awkward and clumsy to me. Maybe it's just that I'm not used to it, but it's not my favourite game mechanic in the world. Like switching between characters makes a lot of sense for turn-based combat because you kind of need more for turn-based combat. But anything that isn't turn-based, I tend to prefer one character, and even if you have multiple weapons, it tends to be easier to switch between them than it is with the characters, especially as they all have like a burst and an ultimate. And they all have different weapons and they all work slightly differently. It's just, I don't like switching between characters, okay? I want to like pick one and be able to do everything with them. Very Legend of Zelda, have all of these items in your back pocket kind of way. Maybe I'd like it more if I say had it on Switch or something, and you could rotate through the characters easier. But it's just, so I'll play a Lego game. Won't have any problem between switching between characters in say free play mode. But I don't know, just not a fan. I also have AFK Journeys. I really wasn't sure about that when I saw the adverts for it, because I've been playing AFK Arena for a while, and I just was not sure about it. And then I opened it up, then I downloaded it and went, you know what, I'll play this. And very quickly became very glad that a PC version exists, because I'll play it so much more when it feels so much less awkward on my computer. Partly because my computer has absolutely zero problems with any graphics. It's why I was very glad when I got this fancy computer that I've got. I got to play with that instead of play Star Rail on this instead of my phone. Because I went from graphics being as low as they possibly can to like ultra graphics. The difference is incredible. It's kind of really stupid. So I'm the kind of person that generally, if I can play it on PC, that tends to be my preferred platform. Partly because I built and now have a fairly powerful PC. I know a lot of other people tend to have their computer specifications in their Twitch about or YouTube description. I have not, will not, because I don't remember what they are, and I cannot be bothered to find out. If I upgrade it, have a look at it properly or something, or, you know, I don't know, start from scratch for the most part because of some reason or another, I might pay a bit more attention so I can get them down. But, not for now. Likely not for a while. I've managed to string out conversation with this game a lot longer than I thought I might. That's good. Because I'll admit, I'm still very new at this. I don't know what I'm doing half the time. Most people don't know what they're doing half the time. I should probably pay attention to the fact that I can buy stuff. That might help. That might help quite a lot, actually. Yeah, that might help a lot more. Don't know. I was talking too much. I forgot to pay attention to the game. Oops. Some of the things you can get in this game are a little tad confusing, I'll admit. Now, let's see if we get enough to... Ah, there it is. Boiled egg. Thank you very much. Oh, that's a very helpful upgrade. Well, let's give these all an upgrade. Best we can. Ah, you want far too much from me. For the moment. Got it. Have we missed anything that's... Oh, that one we can get next. But yes, I very, very quickly deviated from talking about How to Train Your Dragon, didn't I? It's times like these. I wonder some things. I wonder. Oh, it's all very grey at the top here. This becomes a lot more colourful as you get to the final levels of these things. I'm just trying to show how it's look because they all end up slightly different from each other. I know they stop getting extra upgrades for the equipment at level 500, at which point no upgrade, no visual change in the menu. Doesn't really change it. You know what's funny with this game is I've unlocked at least one, if not two, of the other heroes avatars you could be play as, and then have promptly decided, no, I want the default one. His name is Roy. Show you. Ascendants, there we go. There's Reinhardt, there's Minta, there's Scar, there's Anna and Roy, your defaults. Despite all of that, I pick Roy. The bestiary, we've got the wasps, which can become hornets, or black hornets, there's the mimics, the worms, which have... Ooh, fire type. Little giant. Jelly! They can become red ones. Spats. There's the mushrooms that can become poison mushrooms. The kind of plants. The young yetis. The ice wraths. The adult yetis. The ones with the orange outlines around them are they're dimensions giants, as they call them. The demons. The archdemon that really isn't very tall at all. There's the Soul Goblin. Those are from the bonus levels. I haven't killed a single Chief Goblin since I unlocked the Bestiary. Cursed be wildfire. Cobras. I haven't either been to the factory dimension actually since I unlocked the Bestiary, because I don't have toxic gases as one of the monsters in there. But that is quite alright. That's a nice one. It's nice having a nice fast cooldown with boost. Boost is fun. Right. We will keep going for a while. It is late and I was not as prepared to stay up as I should be. I knew this was coming. I decided this was when I was going to stream. That decision had already been made. I'm not spontaneously doing this. I have a schedule. And yet, I'd be silly. Did you have a look at the quests? Oh, they're both at the same. That does make sense. We're nearly there though. We can unlock a couple of things. Is it? Ah, when it is in fact worms. There is jellies in the ice dimension, so once we've got these three, we will click on our portal and we shall get going. Although it'd be fun if we could get the Warriors Awakening beforehand. Whether or not that'll happen, I have no idea. Ancient Echoes. We have a little ways before the next bit of equipment, because the next bit of equipment is the glove, but you need to be in the septillions for that, and we are most certainly not there yet. Because it's 10 septillion just to unlock the glove, and then another 50 septillion to unlock its first level. It's expensive! It stops being expensive when you get far enough, but it is for now. Alright, let's upgrade a few more things while we are sitting on a bit of money. Coins! There we go. And thankfully, we are earning in roughly the same. Ooh, this will be fun. Bonus dimension. Bonus stage. I'm correct. Bonus stage 1. I said never mind. I had definitely locked that because that just has a name above the portals and this didn't. Oh, I had been right. Must have been very confused earlier on to think I hadn't unlocked it. Very confused, definitely had. There we go. Jump, jump. You're not supposed to do that. You run out of time. And now I can't complete them all flawlessly because I've failed on this one. Coins. Oh, I have the magnets so I don't even need to jump for them. That's helpful. Let's do the next one. So we jump up and then we jump up again. Maybe each section of the bonus level has a pattern to it. You just gotta practice the pattern and you'll be alright. The second bonus level 2, is a lot easier than bonus level 1, personally. The last, at least one level of that, as long as you're actually paying attention to the game, you like can't lose because there's nowhere to fall down. Oh, we fell down twice there. That's not good. We're not sure we're gonna have time. Oops. Hey, we actually managed to do it. I is very surprised by that. Now, this next one, which I think is the last one of bonus level 1, if I remember correctly, I still need to concentrate. I shall be very quiet. There we go. Nearly flawlessly. I've definitely done it flawlessly before. But as I said, bonus level 2 is a lot easier. A lot easier. Oh, more silver bonus things. The silver ones tend to they give you more stuff than the orange ones do. Special, and if you played this game on a phone, you'd have to watch an ad for them. So, computer, the joys of a computer. You can play mobile games if they're available without getting bombarded by ads. Although I don't think that counts if you are doing the Google Play beta for computer. Because that probably works, even though they're optimised for PC, or they should be, they work differently enough that the games work differently enough that you are But actually, funny thing about the Google Play beta is it recognises that I've got Genshin installed, even though I installed Genshin through just downloading it from the Genshin website. And it's like, I could click play through that, which I certainly think is interesting. Is it Steam or EA? It's one of the two, and you can essentially be like, hi, by the way, I own this game in their launcher. And therefore, sort of keep a record at the very least of all the games you have, even if they're not from them. I think it's EA. Not that it's particularly important. That was one thing I was talking about today. Games, Friday chill. I would say, aside from the bonus levels, but even then, this is chill, because the fighting isn't really fighting. You kind of kill everything you come across immediately. But I've got some more like city management games. Well, I suppose, at the very least, I'd call City Skylines a chill game if I was playing in a sandbox rather than one of the ones you've actually got to manage the money. So, you know, that one is certainly a possibility. That one is certainly a possibility. But both Planet Coaster and 2 Point also have like a sandbox unlimited money mode. So I call those fairly chill because we can spend the whole time designing stuff. Also, point to remember, the Sims can be very unchill in the wrong or right, depending on your opinion, circumstances. So that one's a little bit more up in the air for the moment. Oh. Like I said, I wouldn't exactly call Ace Attorney chill, nor would I call any of the Assassin's Creed games I own chill. Raft could be chill if I play it on a peaceful world. There's Astroneer. Every time I've played it, it's been mostly chill, but also it's very kind of not chill in places, especially if you're worrying about your oxygen all the time. So, I don't know. I do have a little to the left, which fits Friday chill so perfectly, but also I've played through it once, so unless I feel a bit silly playing that on stream, I could certainly replay it for stream. But I think you know what, I might do that next week. replay a little to the left. And at some point, I might get the Cupboards and Drawers DLC for it, and I can play that first time through stream. But for now, we'll stick with Minecraft and this actually, because said this doesn't. This is a chill game. There's no worrying about combat mechanics or characters dying. You just gotta remember to jump. You just gotta remember to jump. Come on. Let's kill 500 of you. I think I've done it. Ah, haha, I've done 500. There we go. I want to finish this one that is kill 500 worms before we leave the hills dimension to leave to the frozen plains. Yes, that is what it's called, frozen plains. Because otherwise it'll be awkward and I'll be searching for another dimension that happens to have worms in it. I wonder, does the bestiary, I haven't looked at the bestiary very much, does the bestiary tell you which dimensions it's in? Does not. Huh. That's certainly interesting that these ones that I've got a mastery of tell you how much health you've got. But, of course, the ones that don't have the evolutions are a bit more empty of the bestiary pages. It's gonna take a lot of worms. We might be here a while. We might be here a while indeed. It's funny, I'm getting stream notifications while I'm streaming. Because, yes, most of your streamers do in fact watch other streamers. We do that. We have a life. I know what I was going to say about how I'm sorry. My brain is very all over the place. If someone came up to me and went, you have I don't know, ADHD I guess is the one that fits most with my really floppy thoughts, I would not be surprised. I'm serious now, the amount of people I've had who are diagnosed with autism to then, you know, who are autistic, who then come up to me and be like, you're very autistic. I had someone who I've met for, what, an hour? Couple hours? And they went, are you? And it's like, well, officially no. And they were like, ah, yeah, no, I totally thought you were. And it's like, okay. So I'm peer-reviewed autistic. Got it. I may not be officially diagnosed, but it's been several. And as I said, this one person who is diagnosed took all of about an hour knowing me to be like, yeah, no, to ask, at which point they were already, you know, sounded confident that I was, and it was like, no, well, you see, about that. I do plan on, at some point in my life, preferably as close to the near future as possible, to actually get tested. Not that it changes anything about me, because it's how I've been living my life, but it would just nice to, I don't know, have a certainty about it, I guess. But knowing for sure that, yeah, no, that's definitely a thing. And yes, my brain does work differently, so I can spend less time feeling guilty about times when I don't manage to do things like everyone else. Because guess what? You're not like everyone else. Officially not like everyone else. I think there were a lot of people who had late diagnoses for whatever these things were. And that's really hurt them as people. Because they spent all this time being different and just being told, get over it, work harder. And it's not that simple. It's especially not that simple if your brain straight up works differently. Because you can't just work harder. Whatever their solutions aren't gonna work because your brain don't work like that. So you end up kind of very stuck. And having the diagnosis would help them because schools and things would be a lot more aware that, hey, they don't do things like everyone else. They struggle when having to be forced to do stuff like everyone else. We could do things differently. But I also remember a TikTok I saw from the speech professor, is in fact his handle, saying that I think he's got ADHD. Him saying he changed he's American, I think it was uni courses. It might have been college, to reflect, you know, to add in, say, the accommodations you'd get for ADHD students and just making that the standard for his class, and found that actually a lot of non-neurodivergent students also, you know, did better and benefited from mental health wise from not having this being like the accommodations made to help those with neurodivergencies actually generally has helped them too with their, say, mental health and things, because you're a lot less stressed. Because they're a lot less stressed and things, so they also manage to do better. Because funny enough, only so much stress will help. You can't be not stressed at all about something, because then you won't end up bothering with it, because, you know, what's the point? No point. So you got to be at least a little stressed about something. Whether that be wary or excited for the consequences, you got to be a little bit stressed, a little bit emotionally, you know, like, oh, got to do the thing. Because that's how there's the Yerkes-Dodson curve? I think I'm thinking of the right curve. Am I thinking of the right curve? I think so. There's all to do with stress and how, you know, there's a peak amount of stress that matches your peak productivity. But you're one side of it, you're still productive, but not peak productivity. You go the other side of peak productivity and you start falling into de-stress. At which point you start getting nothing done. So you've got to be a bit stressed to get stuff done, but also too stressed and you don't do the thing anyway because you're kind of paralysed with the stress. Which isn't fun either. Whoa. These bonus stages have turned up far closer to each other than I ever remember them doing. But then again, I haven't played this game consistently for more than 10 minutes in a while. So let's see if we could do better than last time. And that's a no then. No, we could not. Oh well. Oh, that one did get better. We did get all 7 of them. But, yeah. I was gonna start talking about How to Train Your Dragon again, and then I got wildly distracted again by my own thought process. It's amazing, the process movement. Oh, we missed one. Now I'm gonna have to do a whole nother set of... Oh well. But yes, as I said when I started off, the first How to Train Your Dragon film is a masterpiece, and I will not be hearing otherwise. The series is really good. The Dragons, Riders, and then follow up Defenders of Berk. It's kind of like season 1 and season 2, except they've got names instead. This is going really badly. Oh, we managed just a really nice kind of flashing out, because they follow nigh directly onto the back of the first movie. And they said really nicely show off all the teething problems that come with the people and dragons trying to learn to live together. Because the thing is, it's not as simply, it's never and never would have been as simple as just being like, oh yeah, we happen to live in the same space now, or problem solved. These things don't happen like that. They never would, never will. Things don't happen like that. Applied Earth. Oh, I think it looks a little bit like I've got a wing at the side here, but it was just the cursor. But yeah, never that simple, because the humans have got to learn how to live with the dragons they've been fighting and killing for the last 3 centuries, I believe it's supposed to be. Whereas the dragons have now got to, you know, sort of learn to live alongside humans as well, and where they're alright. I will preface this saying, I have not watched The Hidden World, the third How to Train Your Dragon movie, and I have no plans to. I've seen a few clips from here and there, and I think the designs in some places are pretty awesome. Especially the dragon scale covered flight suit. Why that didn't turn up in the second movie, I don't know. I guess they just hadn't thought of it yet. That's really cool. That's like really, really cool. And I like that. But beyond that, I care not about the movie. I care not about its plot. The idea of Hiccup and Toothless not being together as friends for the rest of their lives hurts. I mean, I get that there's also Homecoming, which sort of retconned the whole Hidden World thing. Spoilers, oops. At least in some form of a manner. But it just doesn't sit right, because I look at the two of them and I would call Hiccup and Toothless soulmates. Because when I think of two characters being soulmates, I don't think automatically of a romantic relationship. I just think of two characters that are woven together by fate in such a way that they revolve around each other and sort of wouldn't be who they are in any way, shape or form without the other person. But what they make of that relationship, of the fact that their fates are so woven together, is entirely up to them. You know, when someone really hates someone but also kind of loves them in a manner and cannot let go. That kind of thing. Those kind of characters would be soulmates. I think other examples would be Ellen Light from Death Note. Like, they just, at least during the time we see them in the series, they would not be who they are without each other. And their fates, at least during the time, well, to start off with, I'm not trying to avoid spoilers, but Death Note has been out for ages, so you know what? I'm gonna spoil it. Before Elle dies, But, you know, it's very clear that, I mean, even afterwards, their fates are irrevocably woven together. And that they have touched each other in a way no one else will. And there's sort of nothing anyone can do about that. Those are also the Dotakin soulmates, those are the kind of people that will always manage to meet each other no matter the universe. No matter the timeline, no matter what, they'll always end up with some form of connection. Whether that be good or bad, great or horrible. That's the thing, their fates are woven together. What they make of that, what they make of that at all, is entirely up to them. So as I said, Hiccup and Toothless are absolutely soulmates. I'd also say Bakugo and Midoriya from My Hero Academia are also soulmates. Again, their fates are so irrevocably woven together. What they make of that fact, you know, and the relationship they have is entirely up to them. The fact that they are soulmates does not change, you know, that they are still their own people and perfectly capable of making their own choices in life. Just that their fates are in fact irrevocably woven together, and that there is no way, regardless of the universe, that they would never meet and have a connection in some form or another. Whether that be a really bad one, say a villain Midoriya universe, and I refuse to believe he wouldn't be utterly terrifying, or say canon where they're both heroes. They you know, what happens to the two of them? They'll always sort of end up with each other in their lives, and in these cases, even if one person disappears from the other's life, they'll never really be able to stop thinking about them, to stop noticing them in, you know, the corner of their eye, to never stop thinking that they might reappear. I think that's certainly the case with Light after the whole thing with Elle. He never quite gets that challenge again. He never... And some part of him, I think, through those 5 years was always expecting, you know, Elle to come along with some new genius plan to try and out Kira. And that even through all this, he never really stopped thinking about him. I mean, you saw how he gloated over his victory, and it was a victory. Because by the time Light, and this really is what it is, by the time Light died, it was 5 years after the start. Most of the world had given in to Kira's ideal of justice. Kira had won, regardless of whether or not of the fact that Light died. It's too late. And unfortunately, that was always going to be the case with the way Kira was. It'll happen in real life when you've got people like that who manage to affect so many and seem to have so much power. If you're against them, you have to do it as quickly as you physically can before too much of the world turns around and says, you know what, we're on their side. But before the world turns around and says, we're not going to try and fight you anymore. So regardless of who died when, Kira won. That's unfortunately the end of, you know, Death Note. Kira had won. He'd got essentially the entire world to stop fighting him and go, we'll accept your version of justice. Which is wild, really. We veered very off from How to Train Your Dragon again. I will say with How to Train Your Dragon, I think a very, very interesting idea is the ones where he actually does, I mean, there's 101 fanfics out there. Very interesting ones are the ones where he does, in fact, manage to run away when he plans to in the first film. What they decide to do, some of them have big gaps, some of them give us Hiccup's adventure. But that's very interesting. The ones I remember reading when I first sort of found the AU years ago, a lot of those were Hiccup disappears, he somewhere along the way defeats the Green Death. It's the Green Death. I don't know where the Red Death came from in the fanfics. It's called the Green Death in the book. The music calls it the Green Death. Where it got decided it was called the Red Death, I don't know. Funny enough, in the books, there is also the Purple Death, which I believe is the antagonist of the second book. I haven't read the books, I'm not entirely certain. Funny enough, there's a mobile game called Rise of Bark. Guess what? You can get the Red Death. Not the Red Death, it's the Green Death. Funnily enough, you can get the Purple Death in that game. That's what I was on about. One thing I will say to Thashringer is I think no matter how good Hiccup is at being chief, you know, the whole heart of a chief, soul of the dragon kind of thing, I'll say no matter how well he does about that, is that he's always seemed to me that he belongs in the sky, he's happier with the dragons, and that for all he can absolutely be a chief, do all the duties of a chief, that's never where he's belonged. He can do it, and he can do it very well. You know, he's had to been a leader since the dragons arrived, and he was, you know, immediately became the expert on the subject and kind of was the person everyone started coming with their problems to, because guess what? You apparently know what you're doing. And then of course on the edge, in Race to the Edge, you know, there's the 6 teams. Hiccup, in part likely due to the nature of the fact that he is the heir to both, immediately, and also that he'd already sort of been doing the whole leadership at the academy in the previous TV series, that he already was, so of course naturally fell into the leader role and showed that he certainly can do it. I know there's a scene in Race to the Edge where they're doing something. I think they might be on the edge. I don't remember the context of the scene all too well. Where Stoic's about to try and lecture them into, you know, delegate them off to a task for doing something. Hiccup steps in, immediately takes over, and Stoic just kind of stands there really proud. Hiccup certainly can do it, and he certainly knows how to do it, and he's, you know, at least been in part training all his life for it. But also that I think he, as a person, would be happier if he got to be kooky Dragon Man for the rest of his life, you know, disappearing off exploring for a bit. I think he deserves and would still always want a place to be able to come home to, but that he would be happier if he could sort of spend all his time flying with dragons, exploring and things, like he does at the start of the second movie. But yeah, he can do the other stuff, but that's not where he's happiest. I am going to ascend again. That one can wait. Yes, we shall ascend again. I want... Five. Oh. We will take these ones instead, so we can have more at once. Oh, hello, things are wanting to be unlocked. Oh, hello. he would have been happier as Goofy Dragon Man. I also think it's interesting that I saw someone point out in something else, is that actually in the dragon training, especially, I suppose it becomes more obvious in the very, very first one with the Grunkle, that actually the Grunkle does not seem like it's going for the people. It almost seems like well, it's Meatloaf, so it's she, but she's, you know, actually aiming for the shields. Like, that's actually part of what she's doing. She's aiming for the shields, not teens, not the Vikings. For all that, this is where I go on the slightly historical knowledge that Viking was a job title. They were Norsemen. That's also probably not the correct way to refer to them. The Norse, probably. But either way, calling them collectively Vikings is not particularly accurate. But hey, it's a movie universe with the dragons. We can ignore realism for a little bit here. I am going to ignore that bonus level. Oh. Right, turns out I've got things I need to be doing despite the time, so I shall leave you here, and I shall be back on Tuesday. Goodbye.